Okay, so in an earlier video, we made some corners that were for a box that was made out of some wooden dowels and those 3D printed corners that we're going to use for a camera box. And the idea is we're going to hold our iPhone for filming over top of our projects in this box. And it's just going to be a simple and cheap way to do some overhead filming for other projects until I get some better equipment or build some better equipment. This second part of the video is going to be building the rails that are going to slide on top that are going to hold everything. So the idea I have now is the boxes is actually glued together, and I want to make some stuff to hold two more rails on top for my iPhone. So I'm going to start out by creating a sketch, and I think I'm going to look at the side view here, and so I can start sketching. Now we know 425 actually fit really well over our dowels, so we'll start by creating a 425 circle here, making sure that we specify inches. And then I actually want to turn this into kind of a U-shaped clip that's going to fit over. So this is kind of just going to be a construction eyeball circle here until I get moving on. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab my line tool and I'm going to bring some lines out. And I think we're going to go probably with 2 millimeters here on either side. Again, this is another construction line, so I can kind of eyeball things. Now at the bottom of this circle, that would be the bottom of the dowel rod. I think that'll be okay. We'll bring another line out and we'll bring another line out here. We'll bring our outside lines down so they meet, and we're going to do the same with our inside lines. Now if I trim this all up and clean it up so that we'll basically have our two outside dimensions here, and I can go ahead. I don't even know if I need to do this in SolidWorks, or rather Fusion 360. SolidWorks I would have to, because I would need one clear defined dimension over top of this. Let's try not doing it at all. So let's go grab our arc tool here, and we're going to pick center point because we have a defined center. We're going to come out and we're going to draw all the way around. This will give us our shape with our construction circle here in the middle. And if we go to solid and extrude, let's see. Yeah, we can select just the shape that we want to extrude here, and then we can kind of kick this off so we can pull it out. And I mean, we're definitely going to want over top of the diameter of the second rod for this clip, but I think I want a little bit more of a footprint. So I'm going to go 25 and I'm going to say done here. And now I can zoom out and see what it looks like. And that looks pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is create another sketch. And I actually think I want to start here with the outside so that the whole side's flat so we can stand it on end to 3D print it when we get it fully finished. Now, I know I'm going to want to put a construction line across from the top of this part here, able to. Okay, so now I want to try to select point at the top of this, and off camera I've extended my snap and sketch palette, and I was looking at some of the different snaps that are available to me, and I think if I can rotate this, I should be able to get a line snap at the top of it, and then I should be able to do the same thing by rotating back the other way. And if I zoom in, I should be able to select and snap to the top of this. That should give me a line across the top so we know the correct height. And then if I select the left side, and I can drag the part back into view. We're going to take and get this sketch palette out of the way here, zoom out so I can see the part, move it around with my center mouse button, and then I should be able to select the center of the line, which you can see the snaps happening here, and draw a line upwards. Now, if I'm using my memory correct, 425 is what we chose, and we ended up going 525, so we had 50 thou on the tube diameters for all of our parts. So we're again going to enter 525 here, and then we'll tell it that it's in inches and press enter. That'll give me a construct line. I can grab my circle tool here. I'm going to turn off my snaps. I should be able, I think it's grid. I was hoping I could just lock to the center of this line like I would in SolidWorks. I know there's a way that I have to be able to do it if I can pick endpoints and whatnot. I'm just not entirely sure that I know how. That's fine. I know the outside of it, and so I should be able to create a circle with some of these other tools like the 2-point circle here, as long as I can snap to the end of the line. All right, I'm going to try doing this another way. I know the bottom corner of this object here is going to be 425, and it's actually going to be on the plane that I want to try to work on. So I should be able to select everything and work off of it. So what I want to do is I want to create some brackets and I want to do some math. So I want to go 0.425 IN. I'll close that bracket. Yeah, so we have that extra height that we created in there. I forgot about that. Well, actually, honestly, it would be better if we make those fit inside of that. So I think I can make this work. All right, let's go back to the line tool. We'll find that center line. Noticing that back center line's off a little bit, which is a little bit odd. And that oddness, it might affect other parts here, and I might have to be more detailed if it's other parts. But for this part, if it were a little off center, it basically isn't going to matter. So let's again enter that 425. So then we'll add the 525, which will get us to the top. And let's close it. We'll see where we are. And we're a little bit closer. So I'm going to add extra 50 thousandths. And that'll get us fairly close to what we want. Now I should be able, hopefully, to take a 2-point circle, bring it in, drag it down, and I can actually select the bottom of the part, but I'm going to pull it down into the middle of this. And let's enter the 0.525 IN that we were talking about, and you can see it is going to go into the part a little bit, but I think that's going to actually be better. Let's get rid of our construction line here because it kind of makes things hard, and create our interior circle, which is going to be 425. And that'll create our interior circle here that we can now go select solid, extrude, and we're going to pull it out in the other direction, changing it to join. And I think 40 should be strong enough and hold enough of the dowel that we're good. So I'll select OK. And I think I want to do one last thing, which I want to just cap the end of this here. So I'll select a drawing, select that face out, and 2 millimeters should be a good cap here. So that's now solid, so the rod can't pull back out. And let's take our fillet tool, select here, and just like we did with our corner, let's try to add as big of a fillet as the computer can calculate so that it blends that object together the best it can. I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to try to soften some of these edges by creating a fillet, and I don't want to go too big because I'm going to start losing material, but I can go in, create that, and I might actually be able to create some more fillets in the rest of this part here. But I want to go ahead, soften the front, and I like to do this just by eyeball. It does create a little bit more inconsistent fillets here, but I think it works better overall and it's more efficient. This one's a little hard. I can just type in 1 mm here and hopefully create it, and I can spin around and do the same to the other side. And finally, I'm just going to add another one to the bottom here if I can. And looks like I can't go as severe, but I am able to create something here. So that's what I'll do. And I can even go ahead and soften this edge with another fillet. So I think that's pretty good designed end clip for holding my rods. I'm going to conclude this video here at this point.